here's what comes next. You and your husband circle back up tonight and you sit down with your 15-year-old. And your husband says, no man says those words to my wife, period. Especially not in her house. Apologize to your mom. And because y'all have done a good job with repair, he has a roadmap for what an apology looks like. I'm so sorry, Mom. And then your husband says, there is some extremely strict consequences for this action. You chose to say F you to my wife, to your mother. And so by extension, you chose to have absolutely no video games for the next few months. It's a weird choice, but that's a choice you made. And he's going to get mad. He's going to get frustrated. He's going to hang his head. He's going to feel shame. And in this moment, a person should be ashamed when they tell their mom, F you. And that's where you lean in and put both hands on his face and say, I love you. And we are a fireball of a family. And I love that about you. And I love your spirit. I'm going to stop putting my wants and desires into your lap. My son doesn't get a vote in how I respond because I'm an adult. But I'll be damned if anybody's going to walk into my house and use that kind of language with my wife. And there's something way more terrifying, I think, of somebody who is very in control of what happens next than somebody who's just running their mouth like a chihuahua. And so absolutely your husband and you need to address this head on. And then the choices that your son made is how he chooses the consequence. If you go in there and be like, I'm taking away this then you've pitted him against himself. If you go in there and say, you chose this, and so that means you chose this consequence, then he gets to live with the consequences of his actions. And one blow up from there's a reason we don't let 15-year-olds buy beer, because they're 15. That doesn't mean that you get an F on your parenting scorecard. The fact that you didn't go nuclear says you got an A. It's got to be addressed. We're not going to talk like that in this house, but we're going to make our boundaries, the chosen behavior we want, very clear.